Hello everyone, welcome to the Comic Gamer Movie Show. And today is just a tragic day. Earlier today, which depending on when I post this video up will either be tomorrow, but let's just say on Friday. Black Panther actor, get on up, big megastar Chadwick Boseman has passed of colon cancer. Apparently, he'd been fighting this colon cancer for the last 4 years, which means that he filmed all of Black Panther, which means he's filmed Black Panther. He filmed Civil War? No, he filmed Civil War, Black Panther, his scenes in Infinity War, his scenes in Endgame, his scenes in the latest movie, in the 21 Bridges movie, his scenes in, what was that, The Bloods, I think it's called, on Netflix. That means he filmed all of that while fighting colon cancer. He was strong. He was fighting strong. He was really in the communities, and he was a very stout activist. He always lended his voice to talking about Black lives, and he was in the communities. He was a real, a real shining example of just a genuine guy. And every interview I've ever seen him in, he just seems like a genuine guy. He just seemed like a really good guy. And where I was introduced to Chadwick Boseman, which honestly I knew who he was before he was cast as Black Panther, was the James Brown biopic Get On Up. I thought he was so great and embodied James Brown so well that I just remember being like, who the hell is this guy? He is a superstar. He is gonna do some stuff. And then he would go on to play both Jackie Robinson and Thurgood Marshall and countless other characters of color. But so it's clear just off of that alone that he is someone who really thinks that the portrayal of African Americans on film is an important thing, because it's not a coincidence that he took on these 3 huge prominent African American roles in biopics. It's not a coincidence. He really cared about the interpretation, and he wanted to give it the best thing. He wanted to give it the best shine he could. And he was a fantastic actor. I really did love him. And I loved him in Civil War and in the MCU. And I love Black Panther. I thought Black Panther was probably the best thematic MCU movie ever made, because most MCU movies have a theme and have things in it that are important and have some things in it that are deep. But Black Panther was the first MCU movie that actually had a true message and that it wanted to tell you something. And most MCU movies, most superhero movies, there are some exceptions, have themes and have a core and have a moral to the story. But Black Panther was out to send a message. It was out to it didn't hold any punches, and it was directly talking about just the history of the Black experience in America, and just how different, it just confronted those themes head on in Black Panther, which was a commendable thing. And it got a lot of heat from a lot of people who don't want to pretend like everything's hunky-dory, and why do you keep bringing up the past and things like that from hardcore those people. But Black Panther was such an important movie. It really was. And I never wanted to, when I reviewed Black Panther, when I talk about Black Panther, I never wanted to bring up that part of it, because people tend to because there's a huge section of people who tend to just cut your opinion off as soon as they realize that, as soon as they go, oh, well, you're just saying that because you're Black, and because, Black Panther, because you're African American, and Black Panther is a big African American thing, so of course you're going to say good things about it, and of course you're going to say it's important. But the truth is, Black Panther was a truly important movie. Case in point, I will never forget, and this is what made me a bit emotional when I saw his passing. I loved him as an actor. I thought he was a great actor, and I thought he was a great talent, and he's taken away too soon at 43 years old. But the true thing that really struck me, and it took me a while to make this video. It really took me a while to make this video, because at the moment when I first saw it, just this thought went through my mind of this interview Chadwick Boseman was giving, where he was talking about these 2, terminal cancer children who said that they wanted to hold on. These two African American terminal cancer who wanted to hold on so that they could see this movie, so that they can see that movie, and how it was just so, it dawned on him how impactful Black Panther was. The fact that even me to this day, you know, I like to think of myself as a creative guy. There's things I would love to write. You know, I want to be a writer one day. I hope I can do it. I got myself doubts and myself problems, but I have to admit, even as a kid growing up, I never, you know, most of the things I thought of creating or writing had a white main protagonist, because the only things that I was shown were, you know, there are other things like Blade and the Bad Boys, and I hold those movies at heart, but the majority of the big, huge movies were of white actors. You know, Luke Skywalker is the hero of the of Star Wars. You know, Lord of the Rings. You know, Elijah Wood. You know, things of that nature, like the big, huge, nerdy stuff, and especially the superhero genre, which is my favorite genre. Most of it is, you know, white protagonists. I have no problem with that. I have absolutely no problem with that. You know, I love it. My favorite freaking superhero is Wolverine. Actually, my top 5 superheroes, most of them are white. So clearly, I got no problem with that. But the thing is, if I had grown up in a time when Black Panther exists and other superheroes of that nature existed, I don't know how I would think. Maybe I would think a little bit differently. I mean, granted, I had Blade growing up, but Blade was so hardcore and R-rated that it was kind of like, I mean, he's an anti-hero, not like a superhero. And the thing is, man, it's so sad. It really is. It's so sad just because, you know, because he had so much more to give. He had so much more to give, not only in films in terms of being in the MCU, but just so much to give in terms of being in the community. He was clearly someone who truly, genuinely cared about the community, about being a good man, about being in the community, helping out kids, and you know, and he left an impact with Black Panther. He really did. Like, Black Panther will forever have left an impact on this world, and Chadwick Boseman will forever have left an impact on this world. I know eventually, when the sadness comes down, which it hasn't yet for me, because, I mean, it hasn't yet for me, when the sadness comes down, we're going to have to ask the question of what does the Marvel Cinematic Universe do next. But as of right now, it's just a sad night, man. It just sucks. And it really sucks because like, I didn't know. A lot of people didn't. Most people didn't know. There was this picture that came up of him really skinny, but we thought it was for a role or something. We didn't know he had cancer. And it just really freaking sucks, man. It really freaking sucks. Because, like, and all I can think about is when somebody, like, and to me, death is a difficult situation. You know, like when Stan Lee passed, it was sad. It hit me. But the fact that he lived so long, he got to see all his creations, it was more of a beautiful thing. This is a tragedy because there was so much more left for him to give. It was just so much more left for him to give. And it just sucks, bro. It really does. There's no getting around it. It just really sucks. You know, he will have left a beautiful legacy, though. This would be a man who left a legacy of playing 4 of the most iconic black characters in history. He created a black character that will become even more legendary in history. And it's hard. Like I said, I don't want to jump too far ahead, and, you know, the grief is here. But it's just, I don't know what the hell the MCU is going to do. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how they can, I don't know what to do. This is just an awful situation. And I know people don't want to talk about that yet, but I can't help it. I've sat with the grief, I've sat with the loss, I've sat with it for a couple hours now. And all I'm left with is, you know, it's like it's hitting me on all fronts. This is just crazy. I'm grieved. I feel bad because seeing, you know, because seeing so much of Chadwick Boseman and thinking of him as such a big star and have such a future that's taken away is hitting me. But then there's this other part of my brain that's like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? Black Panther was such a huge movie and it's such a huge thing to so many people. And he was such a huge thing to so many people that I'm not sure what the fuck they do now. It's just gonna be a rough time, man. You know what? I gotta end this. R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman, Wakanda forever. Rest in peace. Our King, Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman. Rest in peace, baby. Thank you for coming to Comic Game Movie Show. Please comment below. Let me know your favorite Chadwick Boseman movie. And outside of Black Panther, but if you want to put Black Panther, that is good. Outside of Black Panther, my favorite Chadwick Boseman movie is Get On Up. If you haven't seen it, go see it for his sake. It's a fantastic movie. You will not be disappointed. I might watch it tomorrow just in the memory of him. Thank you guys for coming to Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like, subscribe. I will see you in the next one.